Video. What we ended up with was a bunch of disintegrating cast iron pipe completely packed full of grease that was falling apart in the ceiling, and some of it we had to actually cut in half to get out of hangers. And so, I mean, you can just imagine we had plastic covering absolutely everything, but it was a mess. Originally, I said that 110% sure, I was sure that it wasn't part of Starbucks, but it actually, we put a micro cam and there's a floor drain for a condensate line that I didn't see at first. We located it here. There was some loose, no hubs, and we tightened the crap out of it. Didn't feel a single drop of water. Ran water forever through here. Water tested it, and then glued them also. Well, I want to leave this open for a little while though, just to make sure, because I guess the pail was dry. But if there is a leak, I want to know exactly where it's coming from, because up here is going to be an absolute nightmare. But it is not leaking right now, and we tested it, tightened everything, glued it. Spent a couple hours actually finding out, because there's a sink in the office behind the reception that's really close to here also, making sure that it actually was Starbucks. So I apologize when I said it wasn't, but it is. But there is no leak from there. It's been tightened. It's been glued. We replaced from here all the way back, and this pipe was 100%, well, I'd say 99% packed with grease. I could push through it with my thumb. It was cracked. I mean, it was just absolutely disintegrating. So there's a bunch of tie-ins. Comes back here. I mean, it was just cracked and fell apart right here. This was all these stains were already here because this is where it was leaking, and so all this has been replaced. Back there, it's ABS everywhere. There's 10 feet here, and then it goes back another 5, and there's a 3-inch trap. But it's completely ABS now. These tiles are all water damaged, kind of warped. I do want to leave them off anyways, because there's good fall through here. There's a quarter bubble fall the whole way, but there was still water, trickling out the back as we were gluing and fern coating these pipes in. And I think it's because there's still a bunch of grease at 90s here, and then goes out. There's probably packed with grease in there. It really needs to be jetted with a mini jetter, just to remove, try to get that grease, because even though there was fall, it was still trickling water out the back, while we had the pipe apart. So we vacuumed everything. I mean, this pipe is, here's some of the cast. It's cracked. It's cracked right here. I can just put my thumb through it right now. This one, a lot of it's actually drained out because it's been sitting like this, but it was completely full of grease. This one is completely full. There's a whole bunch. All the fittings and stuff are broken up in there. So again, the floor could definitely use a rug doctor. We vacuumed everything. Like I said, I would like to leave these off, just because if there are any leaks, it'll be very easy to track them down. Not that it should leak. Here's that section where they said it was leaking today. Again, we spent a lot of time kind of shimmying up there, tightening all those, and they were loose. But I didn't feel a single drop. We've glued everything around them, so I think we're good. But again, I would leave this whole section was kind of bowed, and I just pulled it down by hand, but then cut it to make it a little bit more square. But it's gonna have to be replaced. This metal thing's kind of sticking down. It's going to have to be replaced. So let's leave it open for a little while just to see if anything drips out. It's just next. It's a condensate line. Next, was it the ice machine? Is that the ice machine or fridge? Next to the ice machine. Refrigerator. It's late. I'm sorry, but it's flowing into that floor drain all the time. But again, I took my gloves off, ran my hands absolutely over all the pipe, tightened the loose no hubs, and we put glue around them also. Glued everything. So there shouldn't be any leaks from there, but I'd like to leave it open just to make sure. Tested, put a camera down there, everything's good. This pipe here is like a 10-foot section of cast with all these hangers. I mean, it had to be cut in half. I mean, we had buckets. We had multiple drips going with buckets everywhere because the pipe was just falling apart and leaking. That grease is holding all the water back, and therefore You know, as soon as we disconnect it, it's a steady drip forever. I'm sorry if this went on and on. It was a little redundant. I'm really, really tired. It's 4 something, I think, in the morning.